Hi, today I'm going to show you how I made these Jungle Cruise inspired ears for my daughters to wear on our next trip. They light up and I thought they'd be really fun. I found this floral wire that looked like rope at Hobby Lobby. Scored that up with my 40% off coupon for a couple of dollars. I also got this bandana there for 99 cents. And also this headband that I thought would look great with it. Came in a 2-pack and I used my 40% coupon off that for a couple of dollars. Also picked up some fairy lights from Amazon. I'll include the link in the description. But these are great because they have a smaller battery pack. So you can kind of attach them along, wherever you want. They have a great glow. For this project, I did use some pliers. Of course, I also used a glue gun. Now, I started using the long glue gun sticks. If you haven't used these are great, cheap ones at Walmart. For this project, I also used a coffee cup. Yeah, I love my Muppets coffee cup, right? So basically, we're going to take that wire, we're going to take a bit, we're going to kind of round it around the coffee cup, just to kind of give it a round shape. I mean, again, this is bendable wire, so you can, change the shape later if things don't look the way you want. Kind of just move it back and forth to try to get smooth, and of course clip some off there. Now you definitely need the wire cutters for these because, again, they have a wire in them. But there we go. Of course, it's not going to be perfect, but you wouldn't be hand making something if you didn't think it was going to be perfect, if that makes sense. Basically, here I did is kind of made the ear shapes, and I kind of looked at my headband, get an idea. And then I got an actual Disney headband out, my Maleficent one here. And then I use it to kind of just mark the spots on where the ears are going to be. I just do it with like a little dot of glue so I can kind of look at it and go from there. And then I'm going to attach the ears to each side there. Now on this set of ears, I actually left the wire pointing out. And I'll show you what I did later to kind of like cover up the wire. I did decide that I was actually going to point them to the inside. Because I thought, okay, well, if they're not sticking out, I don't have to worry about covering them up as much. And again, I just made sure that they were generally round in the shape I wanted to. And of course, I just put a generous amount of glue there again. If you'll notice in my videos, I do tend to use a lot of hot glue. There we go, just kind of attaching there. And you can see here I go making sure that they're pressed down. And then I'm going to go do the same thing on the other side, get that one on there. You can see they're kind of on there. You can see they do seem like a little flimsy itself, but you can go back and reinforce that with some more glue. Just right there. So what I decided to do is I was going to go ahead and still cover those up and kind of secure them more by cutting off another piece of that bandana and just wrapping it around on the inside of the ear to help secure them. So again, I just hot glue that around. I also found working with this bandana, it was great because it was like burlap and it's exactly what I wanted theming wise. But similar, I've mentioned this with the costume material, is that once I cut it, I noticed that it started to unravel. So you'll see it in the video, but I did have to do a lot of like cleaning up, snipping pieces off, putting some maybe extra glue in there to keep the pieces together. Basically, I just kind of did some bandage work here. I hate to call it that, but it's basically what I was doing to try to make sure that those ears would stay on. Yeah, see, here I am cleaning it up a little bit, snipping off pieces here and there. Again, this is the first time I ever did these, so just kind of experimenting a little bit. I made another set, and I did do them a little bit differently. But here we go on this set. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. Again, it's really thin. You're going to cover it up. Most other ears that I would do the light up things with these, like I've done with the wire ones before, is I would usually cover it with like flowers. In this instance, I kind of wanted just to stay with the same tone. I didn't really want to turn them into looking like my Pandora ears or anything. So I just kind of minimalized them, if that makes sense. And I didn't put flowers to cover up a lot of the wiring and pieces, but you could certainly do that, you know, here as well. So basically, I'm just going to wrap those lights around. I like to turn them on every once in a while and make sure that they're still working, so I don't do all that work and find out that they didn't work. Of course, I'm going to glue the bottom of that wire onto the head here. Now, I've asked my wife and the girls about this when I wrap that wire around underneath, if it bothers them, because I thought maybe it would, and I've tried to do the ears a little bit differently, but they tell me it really doesn't ever bother them. And you'll see in this case, on this later on, I'm actually going to wrap some of that bandana around as well. But sometimes I'll say it's a pain working with these lights because you do have to wrap them around and take a bundle of those lights and put them through. But overall, again, I found that these are the best ones because the wire's minimal, the battery pack's minimal. Again, you just kind of wrap it around the outside of the ear. And here I went ahead and wrapped it around the base of the ear. And then kind of just finagle it around the battery pack usually. You can see I'm hitting the camera there, so sorry about that. And then I'm going to kind of bring it over to the other ear, and then we're going to wrap it around the loop of the ear again. And again, don't worry about bending the ear the wrong way or anything, because you can always come back and kind of fix it and make it again. Here I am again, turning the lights on. I really wanted to kind of look at the ears, see if I got close to an even amount of lights on each of them, because, you know, just make sure it looks good. The lights are kind of where I want them to be. Again, these were just going to be for fun, one evening really, so I kind of, you know, again, however you do it, you know, keep in mind that the beauty of doing your own ears is that they're unique. There's not going to be another set like that. So on this one, what I decided to do is try something a little bit different too. I decided I'm going to go ahead and start to make my bow. So I take a piece that's about 9 to 13, 9 inches by 13 inches here. I kind of just folded it to get an idea of the center, put a dot of glue there, and then kind of fold it in. Now, one thing I did learn as well is that I usually prefer to take the longer edge and fold it in first. But what I tried to do with these ears is I took the shorter side and folded that into the middle, because I decided what I was going to do is I was going to take the lights and run them up through the bow, and you'll see that I do that here. So I fold them over, and then here I go. I'm gonna take those lights and run them through the fabric, because I really wanted some lights to be in the bow itself. I'll say it was a little struggle to get the light to stay where, the string to go where I wanted it to go. But basically once I got it in there, I kind of folded to mark the center again. And then I just folded an edge back to the center, glued it down. And basically I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to put another dot of glue in there, and then I'm just going to fold it down this time and just check to see if I hit that center. And then that way I've got some lights inside the bow. At this point you're just going to kind of form your bow there. Again, you may not want to put the lights in the bow like this. You can totally make that bow separate and just kind of wrap some lights back around the ears if you want. Again, whatever you choose here, but I was just trying to get an idea of what I wanted the bow to look like when it was positioned on there. Alright, so since this material was a little bit thick and a little bit harder to work with when folding, I went ahead and stuck some glue dots in there basically with my glue gun, and kind of like pressed them together to try to get them to stick a little bit and give that shape of the bow that I wanted. And it was kind of hard to work this way because I had that wire still attached to the headset. So I put some extra glue in there and kind of pressed them together. Again, just trying to get the bow to get the general shape that I'm looking for here. And more glue. And there we go. Got a kind of a general idea of what the bow is going to look like right there. And then of course I take another piece of fabric here and just kind of get an idea. It was kind of some scratch that was left over. Kind of glue it in the middle. Now I did go behind this bow and clean it up a whole lot here. Snipped it and basically glued some of it in there. Tucked it in good because you're still going to kind of see it from the back side. And I didn't want it to really stick out, not be as clean. And then I take that strip and I kind of fold both edges over into the middle and just kind of make use a lot of glue there and just kind of make a strip of material. That way I can wrap it around the bow. And see, I'm kind of just looking at it. And okay, well that'll work. But in this instance, I didn't want to just glue it on the battery pack because again, I wasn't going to use flowers So I decided to take another strip of that bandana and glue it around the battery pack, so you wouldn't necessarily see that white sticking out from the battery pack. It's kind of added like a little extra layer there. So what I did is I took that other strip that I had made and I wrapped it all the way around the bow and the headband. I just secure it all together. Just make sure if you're gluing that strip like that, that you glue it underneath the headband or somewhere in the back so that you don't see it from the front of the bow. And I do like to do it under the headband there. That way you don't see the edge from the back either. Again, this is a little bit rough, but I figured it was appropriate for the jungle cruise. But you could go back with that bandana and cover so you don't have the gaps between the bow and where the ears are. But again, I wanted it to give it that rugged look here. But there we go. We've got some nice little ears. The girls are going to love them because of this. They light up. Who doesn't like the light up stuff? Watching through the Magic Kingdom at night, going on a jungle cruise. Now we'll probably turn them off when we're on the jungle cruise, respect to everybody else. But again, thanks for watching. I hope you like the way these ears turn out. Let me know in the comments if you make them, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.